Hello everyone, here at OS Reviews. You're watching our hands-on review of the eYoYo Mini 10-inch monitor. So this is meant as a secondary monitor you can use to extend the display on a laptop, a ultra portable, a Chromebook, or even for use with a smartphone if you want to work on a larger display. It's really a portable monitor since at 10 inches it's quite small. If you are at home or in the office, you would probably want to buy a larger one anyways, so it's more comfortable for watching back media. But if you're always traveling and you want kind of a secondary display, maybe when using it on the seat of a train or on a flight, this could be something to consider. Pricing wise, it's about $85, which again is a little bit expensive considering that it's a very small mini monitor, but I guess you're paying a bit more for that special portability. This is a traditional TFT LCD panel, so hopefully viewing angles are going to be alright, and the manufacturer here, which is eYoYo, does have many different sizes available. So if 10 inches just isn't right, you can always opt for 12 inches, 14 inches, or go even smaller down to 7 inches, I believe. Something else that you can use this for is kind of as a DIY kit. If you have a Raspberry Pi, or if you want to build something like a dock with a keyboard stand and then you can put this on there and mount it, that would also be kind of cool. Right on top we have just the monitor itself, which we'll take a closer look at in a second. There also seems to be kind of a sticky tape or a pad. There's a quick user manual, which we probably won't need. Now, one of the reasons why this particular version is interesting is because it has a lot of I/O. It includes not only HDMI, but also has an older VGA port as well. So if you have an older laptop or a DVD player or something like that, you can still connect it to this monitor, which is kind of rare these days. A lot of monitors only have HDMI now. It's HD quality, but it's not full HD. It's 800 by 1280, as you see there. And here's the mount that it sits onto if you're just on a desk in a larger place. You can see that this mount here is completely made out of metal on the back, and this is probably where you can stick the 3M tape onto somewhere permanently. Here we have the monitor itself. Let's remove this kind of protector on the display here. And again, it's 10 inches. There isn't really a glass that's protecting over the screen, so it's kind of just a display here. It's a more of a traditional older design, but the bezels are fairly slim on the sides. On the back here, you can see this is what it looks like. Really not sure why it says 8-inch TFT LCD monitor when the online ad as well as the instruction manual in the box say it's 10 inches. And I do think that this is 10 inches because I have another 10-inch tablet and this feels about right. So that has to be a misprint from the manufacturing. Anyways, this is where you slide in the modular kind of dock. And on the bottom here is all the inputs. We even have one just for kind of a analog TV. We also have a thumb drive. If you have any media loaded onto a memory stick, you can plug it in and it will play it back directly. There's also analog input for, again, DVD boxes, HDMI, VGA, and the power source. Now, maybe I do wish that there would have been a second HDMI port, since HDMI is still going to be the most popular port among all of these, but if you have something else like an older head-mounted display or an older DVD player, then this is certainly something to consider because it has these ports as well. Now, you can tell that it's not the slimmest thing in the world just because it has quite a few of these ports, especially VGA, which takes up considerable space. If it was just the display, it could have been a lot thinner, but overall it's still not too bad. This is just a laptop bag, but I can easily slide it into the bag without any problems, even put a phone or a tablet in here, and I'm ready to go. Plugging it into the wall, first impressions is it's actually a pretty bright monitor, which is nice to note. We have quite a few lamps on just to make the video brighter, but you can tell that even when I'm pointing it directly at the light sources, it's still very much visible. The viewing angles also seem to be better than expected, especially it was advertised as a regular TFT LCD panel, but it seems like tilting it, there's not too much color shifting on the text here. As for the not so good, it does not have a anti-fingerprint coating for the display, so it's a bit of a fingerprint magnet if you accidentally touch it. And it's also a very shiny surface, so it's going to glare and attract the sun more easily than a matte surface. Menu-wise, it's all very simple. We can tap on this key here just to select between different sources. So again, I can change between HDMI, thumb drive, AV, or PC, and then cycle back and forth. I can tap on this key over here to bring up advanced menu settings to change things like the picture, dynamic, contrast, color, as well as the resolution. So for the first demo, I'm plugging it into an ultra portable. This is a Chromebook, which has a 11.6-inch display. Very common on these devices these days. So 10 inches is actually a little bit smaller than that, but it actually does make the experience feel a lot bigger because your Ultrabook has a display size that's not too large to begin with. And by default, you can see how Chrome Chrome OS has a extended screen view, but you can change that in the settings to have it just be a complete mirror, so it just shows the same thing that the first display is seeing. But in the extended screen, I can basically have two windows open at the same time for multitasking, which is pretty cool. And you can tell here that it's actually doing an upscaling, as well as image quality is better than expected, really. It's actually quite bright. Contrast is really good. So let's try playing back some music and seeing whether the speakers here are any good. Takeaway is audio quality is not very good. The built-in speakers distort pretty easily at higher volumes, but at least it's built in, so I'm not sure if it's going to be better than the one you already have on your tablet or computer. Chances are it's probably not going to be, but if you have a digital DVD player or you're plugging in a thumb drive and there's no other speaker that you can find, then this thing does have one just in case. In terms of web browsing, I also have a complex page like the New York Times just to see how it renders with a smaller text. You can see that things are still pretty visible just because at a smaller size, HD quality isn't so bad. The PPI is still pretty high. Next, we're going to try testing out with Windows. In particular, this is a Windows tablet, which kind of makes sense because you already have a small screen to begin with, and now we can extend the experience. So indeed, it gives us three options on the side here. I can either, let's see, extend the screen so that it becomes more than just the size on my device. So that's a bit more useful, I think, for multitasking. I can also duplicate it, which you can see here would probably work if you're trying to do, let's say, a presentation, or if you're working in a setting where you have another person that wants to look at your work, and then you can put the displays maybe one against each other. And here's what that looks like. So for instance, if I open up a kind of a computer file manager here, I can also now drag this over onto the other screen, so it basically just extends. I can full screen this, and now I can just be working on something referencing maybe a PowerPoint, an Excel, or a Word document, and over here I can just be browsing the web as long as your device is quick enough and snappy enough, and it should be for just doing things like basic productivity or even some light gaming, depending on, again, the laptop or the tablet that you have. Other ideas I'm going to quickly throw out there, but I'm not going to demo specifically, is connecting a phone or a tablet onto the device. So here's a MediaPad M5, 8.4 inches. You can tell that, again, next to this 10-inch display, the size difference there. So if you want to extend the screen on a mobile device, that also works. But what you'll probably need is either a USB Type-C hub or adapter that transforms it to HDMI. So that's been the eYoYo 10.1-inch portable mini LCD monitor. Overall, I would say the quality of the screen itself is better than expected when it comes to the contrast, the brightness, and vividness for only a HD or 720p panel. With that being said, I still find the pricing to be a little bit high, even though it is very portable and has lots of useful I/O. I wish there was a second HDMI port. You can definitely find monitors that are larger, such as 20 inches or 24 inches for the same price on Amazon, and that might be a little bit of a problem for this particular model, as well as it performs. But if you do need the portability and you do want something that you can maybe travel with for conferences, maybe for on-the-road gaming with that detachable stand, then this could be something to consider. Or if you're getting a part for a project, DIY, Raspberry Pi, Arduino, then this might be something you would want to look into as well. So you can check out more details about this in the links down below, but for now, that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. This has been the eYoYo Mini 10-inch LCD monitor.